David, this is a Silicon Valley audience. We're here. What can Silicon Valley learn from the Detroit tragedy? Because it is a tragedy. Maybe they can come back. But could we be Detroit in 10, 15, 50 years? Not we, because you're not really from here, but the rest of us.
I mean, I suppose in some respects that's a real possibility. I think one reason that it wouldn't ever happen quite the same way is the sheer scale of wealth creation that's happened here is you're going to still have a lot of wealth here in a way that you don't. Plus, it's a much nicer place to live than Detroit. So this place is going to remain economically very healthy for foreseeable future without any question. I will say, though, that one of the things that I think it's one of the lessons you were asking me before, maybe you'll ask me again, what were some of the things we took away from this year's Techonomy. I do think that there is...
And just to remind everyone, as if they don't already know, Techonomy took place earlier this week.
It just happened this week in Arizona.
Tucson, and next year it's going to be...
Next year it's going to be at Half Moon Bay.
So no excuses for not going next year.
Yeah, that's right, especially if you have $4,500. But maybe the price will be higher. I don't know. I hope so. But in any case...
I hope you'll be letting people from Detroit in free.
We sometimes do favors for people. But I think there is an evolving critique, which it's not really exactly a critique of Silicon Valley, but it is a critique of the whole ethos that is abroad, that there is a little bit of a tendency to think too small in innovation generally.
In Silicon Valley, too small?
Not by everyone. I think, everybody wants to build an app. I honestly think that their problems are so big with the world, and the opportunities are so big in healthcare, in education, in
government.
Government, yes. I was trying to think of a word for, the built environment. Actually Autodesk is doing interesting things, but they were well represented at Techonomy. But I just, I think maybe we get it's not so much that we're not doing some of the great things in healthcare, innovation, et cetera, but there is so much focus on such a limited number of companies, and I am as much guilty of it as anybody. The fact is, everybody is interested in a very small number of companies that are great and interesting, but they represent a very small proportion of the kinds of companies that are out there.
As a matter of interest, is there anyone in the audience from any of those companies? We just made your point.
No,
right?
I'm sure there may be people in the room, but it's just that, honestly, people talk about Apple way too much. People talk about Twitter's IPO way too much. It's so much less important than the coverage of the last week would indicate. It doesn't mean that I'm not fascinated by it, don't use it, but it's like, why don't we have more attention to what is happening with, synthetic biology, to name one thing, which is really exploding in a way that is beyond belief when you really get into it. And I don't even understand it, but that's why it needs coverage.